So with the things that are happening in school right now, it's apparent that I'm not going to be able to unveil this world that I'm making this year. I mean, well, at least not right now this year. We'll see how things go as the year goes on, but that's okay because it might actually be um, a good time before it's 100% ready. So on the previous episode, I was building out an area for the resource guys. And I said what I was going to do was make it so that way the students would have to use their agent. Okay, so that's why I put the borders up, and I was making it so that way eventually to build it out in such a way that their characters would not be able to mine and they would have to use the agent. So I figured today we would go over the agent because there's a couple of problems. So if I hit C, we'll go with the Microsoft Make code. And we have a couple things that we can do down here as far as, pre-made lessons. There's also a CodeBuilder actual like world, but if I was going to create it in mine, it would be, completely free. So let's just call this test because there's actually some problems with allowing the students to use the CodeBuilder. So let's just take a look at some of the things that are problematic. First problematic thing is here you have the option for students to literally put any block that they want. So now right off the bat, this destroys the necessity to actually mine something. And that's the reality. Like you're dealing with middle school kids. So if I say, okay, here's CodeBuilder, and build a program where the robot's gonna mine. Well, right here they're just gonna put whatever they want, right? So that's the first problematic thing that I noticed. And then another major problem that I noticed was there's really no way to see from the agent's perspective. Excuse me. There just isn't. Like, if I want to program my agent, I have to pretty much see everything that he's able to do. So there would be no me saying, okay, so if I close this off, right, real quick, and I look at my agent, right, I can see my agent, so I can say, okay, but how far away is that village? And then when you're talking about the build that I have, right, to be able to send your agent in to do the digging, there's how many blocks is from here to there, because as you can see, it raises up, it goes down. So like if I just wanted him to go to that house, I wouldn't even know how many blocks this is to properly say, okay, move forward, this many, agent move forward by how many what, so then it would just be trial and error. I'd be sending my agent out there, and that would also get frustrating for the students. Then they can also program things for their player, right? So here you go. Well, actually, no, this doesn't enable them to put it. It just says when they're using this item. But they can teleport themselves. And these are things I really do not want my students to be able to do. And then, so just looking at this interface, if I click up here, there's no way for me to actually like control what they can do and what they can't do. You can switch between, JavaScript, which is actually typing out the programming, or using block programming, otherwise known as Python. But I'm just saying that the code builder really gives them amazing ability. And this is great for some other lesson. But to be honest with you, in the world that I'm trying to create, I really do not want them to have access to this code builder, because they would very easily be able to they'd be able to get around a lot of things. Just the ability, like, straight up, going back to the player, teleport right here. They can teleport their player anywhere. And I don't want them to be able to do that. So now I have to really think about how I'm going to make the resource aspect work. So for what the world that I'm building, this is not a great idea. But this allows me to create other worlds that they can play in, that would enable them to use all these things and really, have a go at it in CodeBuilder. But I just wanted to, so like for instance, let's get rid of these. Here I am right here, and I'm not going to want to teleport to 0. So let's just let's do a safe. 72 is a pretty safe thing, right? Get rid of that. So straight up, I'm just going to show you what happens. I hit play, and they've now I'm going to die. But that just shows you, I literally just teleported myself 72 blocks up. So it says you've been teleported to, 144, etc. Right? Now, I don't care that I died. But if they can do that, they can teleport past the barrier. They can open up their code builder in the school and get past other things, like, that door that I have that I don't want you to get around. They just teleport themselves to the other side of that door once they figure out how that whole function works. And I don't want them to be able to do that. So this code builder is probably going to be for some other time. But in the world that I'm creating, the resource guys, I'm going to have to figure out a better way to do that. So next time on Mando Minecraft, I will have an answer to that situation.